Now I'm being asked specifically about the question of resignation, when it might finally happen here in Germany. He also drops the bombshell that was a punch to the gut for many people out there. If you want to support this channel, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. And at the same time, it's also about the leading political force in Germany. They have nothing left. They're broke. Nothing can stop the voters now from choosing the strongest party here in Germany. That's the tone this morning. Welcome to the Sunday special. And I'm telling you, things are heating up in Berlin's political establishment. And we're on the verge of witnessing the CDU's Armageddon live.
And I'm confident that together we can really achieve this in Germany. Once again, otherwise I wouldn't be standing here. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking on this task today and trying to fulfill it and take it over. We can do it. We can make it. Thank you very much.
By the way, Merkel immediately got in touch with Merz and said, "You did well, my boy." Something like that. I already read it in the newspaper yesterday. We can do it. That's about the sentence you're not supposed to use in this country anymore. Because every German is reminded of, no, we didn't make it. And the lies that are coming up again as well. Well, I really have to tell you. What he blurted out there, that sentence, "we can do it," is absolutely evil and reckless. There is no sentence here in Germany that is as deeply ingrained as this one. Yes, there are sentences like "everything for Germany," for example, which are also very, very polarizing here. But not with the mainstream. Many things pass by society. But this sentence, yes, it woke up sleeping dogs yesterday. It absolutely, yes, exploded on social networks. I saw it on Instagram. I saw it on TikTok. I saw it on X. And the fact that I get so many posts about one sentence, that's absolutely unusual. And as I said, you'll soon be saying when he'll finally pull the strings and the emergency brake. And I have one more thing for you. We should definitely take a quick look at it.
Everywhere there were high numbers of immigrants, migration that could no longer be managed. Ladies and gentlemen, the numbers have dropped by 50% year over year from 26 to 25.
I'm not going to comment on the truthfulness of that here because we can't just present it like that, without looking at the European numbers, which are dropping much more than the German ones. But the point is, we're dealing with migration in an election campaign and at the same time saying, let me just show you this from the world. They actually said it by accident. That's the exit scenario. It's already happening here in Germany. What happens if?
Germany will also watch the election results in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. And that's how Merz put it, because this election, this result, will also answer the question of whether the political center still has the will and the strength to solve political problems and to be able to act. That's it.
Well, and many people didn't understand what he meant by that. Of course, you, my viewers, surely understood the truth behind that statement, but I'll explain it briefly for everyone. If both elections are lost, then he'll step down. If both elections go to the AfD, maybe even with them governing alone or with no consistent coalition, then the political center would have to admit that there are no more solutions here in Germany that could contribute to any kind of improvement. And then, in a way, he would also be symbolically raising the question of confidence. So, at its core, that's what he meant by that statement. Of course, we all know that it was probably all just a lie. And he said, we can do it. Then still with the reforms, maybe even until the end of this legislative period, when the CDU is at 12 to 15%, you can already tell there's nothing against the AfD anymore. The only thing, that's it. Just listen to it for a moment.
You, Ms. Ammon, are making all kinds of claims without any evidence. So first, please show me proof that the AfD is in favor of abolishing freedom of speech. Please prove that to me.
Maybe the wording was too pointed, but if you look at the program
Of the AfD, which quote?
For example, they want to abolish public broadcasting.
That means not the abolition of freedom of speech. Wait a minute.
Why do they want to abolish freedom of speech? Why do they want to abolish public broadcasting?
Yes, that they finally want to shut down this propaganda TV here in Germany. I mean, I don't even watch it anymore. You won't get any more land programs. You won't get any more hard but fair programs. At most, maybe a clip I find on X, and you actually don't know anymore. And suddenly, more and more reporters come around the corner and say, then prove it to me. Like now, for example, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. A former NPD member has become the campaign manager there. That's how Die Welt titled it yesterday. Yes, they've risen and been elected. Nobody cares anymore about what you did 5 or 7 years ago. They're winning elections, they have real organization, right? And besides, as long as the Berliners are falling apart, that's their own business. And on the other hand, there's one thing you definitely can't say about a former NPD member, that after the election he'll just give in and say, yeah, being left-wing isn't so bad after all. Let's do left-wing politics. No, people don't care about that. And then, yeah, people say this will cost the AfD votes now. No, it won't. It just doesn't. Why not? I'd rather vote for a former NPD member than make Annalena Baerbock the next foreign minister. And that, I don't know about you, how it is for you, but feel free to write it to me down below. But the fact is, just because he was once in a group and then left, doesn't mean he still carries that mindset today, in my opinion. And well, how many former NPD members are actually in the CDU? I know a few who used to be in there. So, I promised you. Did you see that, yeah? Did you see that? The man can't even walk straight anymore. Is he scared? Or, I mean, I'm not going to show you the clip of Philipp Amthor from yesterday who was clapping like crazy after Friedrich Merz. Spouted nonsense. You really can't say it better. But you should really watch this man when he walks. I always wonder, why doesn't the press report more about this? He can't even walk straight anymore. This opposition leader of the CDU who actually promised so much and delivered nothing. I took note of the promises made to us before the election and compared them to what has actually happened now. And now I'm just going to leave out companies close to the CDU. I'm just going to leave out everything that would somehow benefit the CDU. And then, well, nothing was left for the middle class. None of these campaign promises. None of what they promised us in those coalition agreements has come true. Nothing, and I really mean nothing, okay, has improved here in this country. The crime rates, they're still high. The non-migrant share, so hello to all non-migrants, is still vanishingly small. While migrant crimes are still high. Summer Sun remigration was cancelled last year and will be cancelled again this year. I'm saying this in a really polarizing way because they're no longer capable of it. And Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania and Saxony-Anhalt will now make the inevitable official, yes. Yes, seal what we all wish for so strongly. After that, this left-wing course as it is now will be over for now.
Unity despite all the differences between the CDU-CSU alliance and the SPD to push through this reform. The first steps have already been taken. There are proposals for a reform of health insurance and for a reform of long-term care insurance. And by the summer break, as promised, they also want to present proposals for a reform of income tax and then also for pension reform. And of course, the campaigners in the East will be watching very closely over the next weeks and months to see what happens in Berlin.
This is the message to all CDU campaigners in the East. I'll tell you straight up. Take your stuff and go. Don't stand out there in all kinds of weather. If what is supposed to be decided now goes out without being decided, then I'm telling you, you won't be happy out there anymore. The election campaign started today. No, it started yesterday in Germany for the CDU and for the AfD as well. And, well, dear CDU members, if they actually implement that, yeah, never before in Germany. I'm serious, actually never before. In all of Europe has a party ever managed to recover after such reforms. So, you're basically out of the picture. It's over now. You don't even need to campaign anymore. The whole thing will play into the hands of many people. And by the way, just a small note, there are more and more people getting involved in local politics, fighting for this country. And I hope that maybe someday you'll also think, okay, what can I do for my community, for my city? Just get in touch and maybe run in the next municipal council election so that someday we can be the voice of reason here. And the voice of the majority who say, no, we don't want this system anymore. No, we don't want to be exploited anymore. I wish you a wonderful Sunday.